Welcome to ILTV's Israel Daily. I'm Amit Harari, and coming up in today's newscasts. Tisha B'Av fast day concluding with unprecedented numbers at Temple Mount and Western Wall. Meantime, Knesset's summer term concluding with landmark bill approval. What's next for Israel? And finally, a taste of the Holy Land's finest expert with ILTV's Wine of the Week. The Tisha B'Av fast day commemorating destruction of the first and second temples in biblical times comes to an end at this hour. Thousands of Jews visited Temple Mount today, and tens of thousands came to the Western Wall to recite the traditional Lamentations. This year, the day seemed to have extra meaning, and ILTV Steve Leibovich reports.
Tens of thousands of fasting worshippers visited the Western Wall in Jerusalem as Jews around the world mourned the destruction of the two temples and read from the Book of Lamentations near the site where the mosques now stand. Thousands of Jews also visited the Temple Mount itself. Among the visitors was National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, who considers Jewish rights on the site a political cause.
אחדות חשובה, אהבת ישראל חשובה. המקום הזה, זה המקום הכי חשוב לעם ישראל, שבו אנחנו צריכים לחזור ולהראות את המשילות שלנו.
Others around the country recited lamentations for Tisha B'Av, but political issues managed to seep into the observance. The Rosh Yehudi Outreach Organization organized a reading of lamentations outside a restaurant in Tel Aviv that decided to remain open on Tisha B'Av. Anti-judicial reform protesters forced Diaspora Affairs Minister Amichai Shikli to make a quick exit from a Tisha B'Av conference titled, "Either we unite or quickly fall apart." And dozens of activists held a silent protest outside the home of Likud MK Eli Dalal in Netanya. Dalal left his home to join the protest group, which welcomed him with a round of applause in a rare moment of conciliation between government officials and their opponents. They recited Lamentations together.
Experience the power of truth with ILTV News. If you're looking for quality content and captivating visuals, join our news community and become an integral part of our team as we embark on a mission to unveil the real Israel, dismantling the web of lies and misinformation that surround reporting on Israel. By subscribing to ILTV News, you will not only have access to the latest updates, but you will also amplify our message, creating a ripple effect that carries the truth far and wide. Subscribe today and help reshape the narrative. Available on the web, Android, and Apple.
In the midst of deep divisions in society, this year's Tisha B'Av took on an extra layer of significance, prompting reflection on the national mood today. And to shed light on this issue, we're now joined by attorney and journalist Ben-Dror Yemini to discuss. Ben-Dror, this year the Tisha B'Av holiday seemed to take on extra meaning coming amid deep divisions in society. How do you describe the national mood today?
Yeah, well, it's not our best Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av is never a nice day, but this Tisha B'Av, we managed to double the sorrow because the feeling of, destruction of the first temple, of the second temple, and now the feeling of a society which is about collapsing. But not, we are not collapsing. Yes, we have a problem. Yes, we have differences. But I do think, and I do hope, and I do pray, of course, that we are going to overcome this crisis, which is taking place right now.
Ben-Dror, tens of thousands visited the Western Wall this year, and thousands also went up to the Temple Mount this year, including National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir. He spoke of the need to exert Israeli control sovereignty. Any real news there?
No, he is saying it something like 3 times a year, and of course in Tisha B'Av he is saying it again. But we all know, I mean, if we know history, we know that the extremists always take us to the edge, and we just have to control them, to restrain them, in order not to let them destroy, and in order that history will not repeat itself. That's not what we want. But it's something which became, unfortunately, usual almost every Tisha B'Av, on behalf of course, Ben-Gvir.
Well, the situation is not easy. You know, protesters in some places disrupted Tisha B'Av programs and were outside ministers' homes. Isn't this becoming unwarranted harassment?
Well, we have all to remember that we had already many problems of that kind. We had a crisis in ILTV in the years when Israel just was founded. We had the election of 1981. We do all remember that there was a lot of violence in the streets. We remember the weeks before the assassination of Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin. We remember the tensions before the disengagement from Gaza Strip. So we had it, we experienced it. And in all the times, eventually, we managed to overcome. I hope that in this time, it will not be different. I mean, yes, we are in a crisis. We cannot ignore it. I feel it. We speak with people, we speak with friends, we speak with family, we see the news, we watch the demonstrations. Yes, we have a problem. But part of it, let's not forget, this is the Israeli democracy. I mean, when you see there's so many people in the street demonstrating, protesting against the government, it doesn't matter what you think, if you're in favor of them or against them. They are part of the democracy. They are demonstrating also democracy. And eventually democracy will win. That's what I think. I mean, we are not Turkey, we are not Hungary.
Definitely. Now, many religious people were upset by restaurants opening in Tel Aviv during the fast day. There was even a group sitting and reciting lamentations on the sidewalk outside an open restaurant. Signs of a society losing patience one for another?
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame because, when we are speaking about the protest and the people who go to the demonstrations, many of them are religious people. So what are you doing? To alienate them? What are you doing? I mean, what next? If they will do it in the day of the Holocaust remembrance? I mean, I do not understand them. I really do not understand them. I mean, we always had this kind of fanatics. We had them from the right, and we just mentioned them. And unfortunately, we also have them from the left and among the circles of the protest.
Bedro, for more united days, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
The Chinese ambassador to Israel reveals that Chinese President Xi Jingping awaits Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's upcoming visit to Beijing. Despite concerns from Western capitals, Netanyahu's office emphasized that the visit is not meant to send any message to U.S. President Joe Biden. ILTV's Devo Klein reports.
Chinese President Xi Jingping eagerly awaits the expected visit of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to Beijing this year. This was revealed by Chinese Ambassador to Israel Kai Rune during a meeting with Netanyahu on Wednesday. The invitation from Beijing was extended to Netanyahu earlier this year, and though the visit's date is yet to be confirmed, the Prime Minister's office announced a month ago that the visit is indeed planned. Netanyahu promptly informed Washington about the invitation, emphasizing that the visit is not intended to send any message to U.S. President Joe Biden. However, there have been concerns in diplomatic circles in Washington and other Western states regarding Netanyahu's upcoming trip to Beijing. Nevertheless, Israeli officials argue that such visits are not uncommon, pointing out that Secretary of State Antony Blinken and U.S. Secretary of the Treasury Janet Yellen recently visited China despite existing tensions between the superpowers. Chinese President Xi Jingping also sent Netanyahu a gift, an autographed copy of his book, The Governance of China, which the ambassador presented during their meeting. Xi expressed particular interest in parts of Netanyahu's autobiography, Bibi, which delves into the history of Israel-China relations. Yet Western capitals have urged Israel to be more vigilant in safeguarding its technology and critical infrastructure from potential misuse by China. Despite these concerns, Kari Sviti, executive director of Signal, Sino-Israel Global Network and Academic Leadership, suggested that China's gift of the book to Netanyahu could be a way to divert attention from recent developments involving Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Zhang's disappearance and deposition.